Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Got my main man Jesse over here with us.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
And we are working on GTO day. Check this out. There you go. We got some cool stuff going on for you today. It's been a while since I put an episode up. We've been getting tons of parts in, getting all kinds of stuff going for this thing, so we can get this thing running. And today's project, Mr. Jesse has helped me out here.
Yeah, man, he helped me on the hood. I've got to help him out on this car too. So.
That's right. We help each other out the best we can on our projects and stuff to get this stuff done. So let's look at today's project so you guys can see what all we got going on. And then once I show you that, I'm going to leave Jesse alone. He's got a lot of cutting he's going to be doing. And then I'm going to show you guys a bunch of parts and stuff that we got in. So we got a lot of cool things happening. So let's get into it. So in today's episode, what we got going on is we are going to be moving our Peterson sump tank over here to this side. Okay, it needs to be done. We're having problems with a couple of things. Number one, our oil pump is over here, okay, and our fuel pump is over there. And when we first started building this car, I didn't think of a couple of things, and it was my fault. But when we're on the street, we were going to need a sump tank, okay? So now we've got two tanks up here instead of just one. And I was hoping just to have the oil tank over there to offset the weight in the car, because the driver is sitting over here. This is the heaviest side. You kind of want to keep all your heavy stuff over there, because you got to offset, you know, normally a 250-pound person over here just about it. But anyways, so what's going on is we got to move tanks. We're taking these brackets off, cutting them off. Dad cut us off some new ones, and we're going to put it over here on this side. Same thing with this bracket. We're going to cut it off right here and move it over there. While Jesse is doing that, I'm mounting the fuel cell. You guys can see my very, very high-tech jig fixture here. These blocks of wood, these are very, very expensive. You can't find these in too many places, I can tell you that right now. Jesse even special cut this one right here.
No doubt. I was making a box of things on there.
Yeah, that was one of Jesse's very straight, very precise boxes.
Ain't no carpenter.
Anyways, if you need a box made, definitely hire Jesse.
I'll put all I got in it.
It's a good time. Anyways, so while I'm working on this, Jesse's gonna be doing that. So I went ahead and already created this border and stuff. You do have to have a pretty good size tubing around the tank to be able to pass tech and stuff. The bottom side they're not as stringent on, but up here the actual border of the tank, it's got to be at least 1.25 inches there. So that's what we got to do here. I'm still torn on what type of wraparound I want to do. Normally people run like a piece of sheet metal over here, type thing to keep a tank from coming out of it, or sometimes people take tubing and run over it. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet. I kind of think I want to do some sheet metal stuff, and maybe have Dad cut out a cool emblem up here in the front of it, or
simple dimple holes look good.
Yeah, maybe even dimple holes, something like that. So that's kind of what we got going on that stuff there. So Jesse's working on that. I'm gonna be making some pieces up in here to get all this stuff tied in, and then me and him both has got a lot of grinding and sand to do. So before we start cutting and grinding, we gotta get all of our AN hoses put up, everything kind of covered up with a blanket and stuff, so we can be safely grinding on stuff. And I highly suggest, guys, anytime you're grinding, if you can take all your car parts off, that's the best thing to do, but sometimes you cannot. Just make sure you got everything sealed up with tape. You don't want grinding dust getting in your motor, oil pump, fuel pump, any of that stuff, and especially your AN hoses. Make sure, just take you some tape, take something, cover that stuff up so you don't get all that grinding dust into your motor.
Future problems.
That's right. Well, let's get into it. Enough is talking. Now let's rock and roll, guys.
You done there at tubing.
You done an awesome job. Right? Nothing about it at all. Alrighty guys, what's going on? We're back at it in here. I kind of had to stop there and just hammer stuff out because I was really running short out of time. We had people that stopped by, customers stopped by, and me and Jesse kind of got sidetracked there with a lot of stuff. So I had to hammer some stuff out, so I thought I'd go over and show you guys what I've been doing. So you guys can see the radiator is back on it. I've just been pulling the radiator on and off and been taking the fuel cell on and off of it, just making sure everything fits. So we got the sump tank moved over here. Definitely a shout out to Dad for making us some new brackets. All the bracketry isn't done on that yet. We got to support everything really good and stuff, because right now you guys can kind of see it's really loose right now. So trying to get that done. Went ahead and got the sump tank mounted on. We just used the same mounts and just flipped it over on the other side. Luckily, all that worked out decent. And again, I just have to keep going back and forth, double checking, making sure that the fuel cell fits on it and all that stuff with some of the stuff on there. But again, sump tank comes off when we go into race mode. So that's what's going on there. I've got another little bracket I need to make on this radiator here. End up not able to use this mounting system anymore right here. So this deal right here, I'd made this a couple of years back, and that's what kind of tied the top of the radiator in to the front of the chassis there. Not gonna be able to use this anymore. I also didn't quite care for the setup. It was really complicated and aggravating to get on and off, and I pretty much had an idea that this was going to scratch the living heck out of the chassis trying to take it on and off. So that being said, now because of how the pump support and stuff for the water pump is made, I'm just going to make a bracket that goes from here up to this bolt hole right here, and I'll tile that in, and I'll make all that a whole lot simpler. So that's what's going on there. I'm gonna do a couple of more things here tonight on this deal, and we'll just see how far we can get. But yeah, sometimes you gotta take a step forward and 5 steps in reverse. That's just kind of part of it. But I'm liking this a whole lot better. This will make our hoses a whole lot shorter. Again, our oil tank to the oil pump, and then our sump tank to the fuel pump over there when we need it to go there. Again, that's only for street use only. I know I'm saying that a bunch of times, but I didn't want to confuse anybody of what's going on there. So that's what's happening with that. Something I have been working on too, that is trying to figure out where the heck I'm going to put this daggum fuel regulator. I don't like it there. I know it looks kind of crazy looking right there. It looks cool right there. Hold on a second. I can move it up like this, like that right there. It looks kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, but the problem is when you look at it from the side, like this right here, it's got like this angle to it, like this, because of how the fuel rails are all mounted up and stuff. I just don't like it, so that's gonna be scrapped. Still can use the fittings and stuff, but we're end up gonna have to move that thing out here somewhere. So I just don't know yet. So that's kind of what's going on there with that. Let's see here what else we got going on. We still got to figure out what we're going to do with the oil primer and stuff. That's kind of next once we get all of these mounts done here. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update of kind of what all is happening there. We also got a care package in from Jegs. That's right. So let's go back here and let's look at those parts, what all Jeg sent us. Had a big order in. We're actually starting to get some electronics and stuff in. So that's super cool. Very, very happy about that. So I'm gonna get this stuff out and let you guys see that. All right, guys, so here we go. We've got our switches, painless switches. I really like these. I've wired painless switches up on several vehicles now. My dad even has painless switches on his truck. I just like their switches. Their layout works pretty good, and their switches light up very nice. I know there's several different companies out there to choose from when it comes to switches and stuff, but that was just my personal preference was that. And also I like their fuse layout as well, so I'll let you guys see that. So on their switches, each switch has a fuse on it, and I just like that setup. Again, that's just a personal preference for me. So we got our switches. We also got our smart coils from Holly, so a big shout out to them. Let's see, I'll pull one of these bad boys out for y'all. Check that out right there. So that's our smart coil. Okay, so we got all 8 of those now. That's really, really awesome. We also got the cam sync kit. Okay, this is just a bracket right here, and the sensor as well. I'll show you guys the bracket from Holley. Again, all Holley stuff on this stuff here. Let's see here. If I can get it out, good Lord, Houston, what is going on here? There's the sensor right there. Let me get this bracket out. Yeah, right here. All right, so there's the bracket right here. This bracket mounts, we'll walk over here and I'll show y'all. Almost there. Okay, see right there where our timing belt is. It's got a Jessel belt system on it. This mounts right there, and it gets a reading off of the cam location. So that's what that's for, and that's what that sensor is for. We also did get the Egt kits as well. All right, so the Egt stuff, that is what's getting our exhaust temperature readings and stuff. That is on its way. Jegs hollered at me and Holley hollered at me. They're like, hey, it's coming. We just got to kind of figure out where it's at. I don't know if they've lost it in the mail or if it was just on back order and they just forgot to figure that out. So coils, I figured I'd show you guys what that stuff is about. If you're not familiar with it, the coil is basically your distributor. All right, spark is going to come out of this and going to go to the spark plugs. All right. I'm thinking about mounting these below the headers is what's going to happen with those. We'll be working with Dad on the mounts for that. So that's kind of an update for our parts, what's going on. Definitely, you know, we're going as full send as we possibly can. We're going to be wiring very, very soon. That is going to be a very, very cool moment for me. I'm excited about doing some wiring on this thing, start getting stuff wired up. I do need to order the tail lights for it. I've got all the bracketry and stuff for the tail lights, but we need to get the actual bulbs and stuff. I think I'm just going to go with some LEDs for the tail lights. I've already got the headlights. We need to start getting our turn signals and all that stuff kind of wired up, because that's stuff that we can just go ahead and get out of the way. So that stuff is going on. The Dominator system, I have not bought it yet. I still got to save up some money, so definitely be buying those t-shirts. That helps out with that. I've got, let's see here, the main Dominator harness coming. We are going to be wiring every bit of this vehicle up. I'm going to be making custom harnesses for this thing myself. Yeah, I could pay someone to do it and that sort of thing, but I want to learn every inch of my car and know everything the best that I can of it. And if I fail or mess something up, then that's just on me. But I'm pretty confident of what I can do and what I can make happen there on that. Normally when it comes to EFI stuff, I've always just used like universal harnesses and stuff that comes with the kit. On this car, I'm going to be wiring every individual thing up. The reason for that, after wiring the Jeep up, what I found is there's just so much extra wiring that comes in those kits. It's awesome if you're just doing like an LS swap, or if you want to quickly get a motor started up or something. But the problem is there's just so much extra wiring, and trying to get things run through the firewall and trying to find places to stuff all that wiring or shorten it. And if you're taking all the time to shorten it and stuff, to me, there's so much time involved in that anyways, you might as well just literally run the harness the way you want it. The other thing is too, this is going to be an alcohol motor for the most part, until we can afford to run it on 2 different fuel setups and stuff. But being an alcohol motor, you really need to take care of your wiring and stuff. You need to have everything sealed up really well, or you're just asking for long-term problems. You want to keep your wires sealed up really good, want to protect your connectors really good with boots and stuff like that. It just makes stuff last longer because of you're going to be taking it apart so much. It's just part of a race car, and or an extreme street car / race car, whatever you want to look at it. But that's what's going on with that stuff. I just wanted to update you all on that. But I'm very excited. I'm going to work for a little bit more on getting some stuff done. But that's pretty much going to wrap us up for here. You guys be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Being subscribed to the channel is a huge help. Share with your friends. We're needing to get this channel to grow as much as possible. So for race season and stuff, that helps us get sponsors for this thing, okay? So definitely help us out the best as you can. We really appreciate that. Events and stuff that's going on this year, we're going to be taking this thing to, just to kind of give y'all an update on that stuff. Jesse, I'm sure you guys see him on the channel a lot. Jesse has got a car show coming up very soon. I'm going to list the date here down below, and we're going to be bringing this car to that event. So if you'd like to see the old Full Metal go in person, that will be a perfect event to come to. Bring your hot rod out to that. We're going to be having a car show out at the VFW here in Johnson City, and we're going to have a really good time with that. My car will be there. My dad's truck will be there. Both my vehicle and his truck is in bare metal form, so it's going to be a really cool event for both of these cars to be at. I really hope, and I am shooting for and I'm working for to get this thing running for that event. So that's going to be really cool. I hope we get to drive it there. That's like the ultimate best of best goals. But the biggest thing is I just like to have it running and start it up for you guys and start it up for me. You know, that's just how it is. So that's where we're getting at. We're really about to start putting the fuel lines on it, the oil lines, finish those up, and really starting to thrash here and make a lot of things happen. So yeah, guys, getting exciting. We're at that, you know, that final push here. Again, we still got to purchase the Dominator ECU. That's the most expensive thing left I've got to get. So the ECU, the dash, the Holly dash, and a couple other electronic components that we need to get for it to finish it out. But those are like the last few little items we need to actually start this thing up. So that's what we got going on. I appreciate you guys watching, and y'all stay tuned for a whole lot more. See y'all next time.